Welcome, Goober Jam Part 2, Episode 2. Pretty gangsta intro, I think. Um, we are going to be looking at our new model. Alright, so this is the Mech model. There are like well, I mean, there are infinite setups, obviously, but there's like two simple ways that we can draw this setup out, right? So the first one would be following the AMD theory. I think I sent you a photo of something I made on my iPad about this. Basically, you're just stacking highs and lows, making essentially low resistance liquidity. And then you manipulate, and then you get an inversion to the downside on this manipulation leg, because obviously you don't want to. I mean, yeah, you could get a bit IFVG through this leg, but it might give you a shit entry, because we're targeting these lows in this setup. So maybe you get a nice sweep of internal liquidity, and then you get distribution downwards to these lows, right? So in this scenario, our entry would be short. Oh, what? That's the wrong one. In this scenario, our entry would be short here, stop loss here, target these lows. And it would probably be, I mean, yeah, it would probably be more realistic if we just did it like this, right? Something like that, and have an inversion somewhere in this leg to give us a good entry to target these lows, right? So that's the first one. Super clean drawing. Maybe I'll send you some images of a proper thing just so I don't have to draw it out. It's going to take too long. And then the second one could be something like this. We sweep, let's say there was a draw on liquidity down here, and we create imbalances, and then we sweep internal liquidity to make a new leg, get an inversion here, and then trade upwards to these potential 5 or 15-minute gaps, right? And we get a long entry here on this inversion, stop loss, take profit, right? Pretty simple. Obviously, our condition is always inversions for every setup. Our potential targets, like if we're using the standard Mech model, that's targeting imbalances, right? So it would be like, based on theory of when we sweep liquidity, price needs to rebalance if we're going to continue the same distribution. So, so our targets, I mean, you know what targets are, right? You know what targets we could be looking for. If we're not looking for those imbalances, be like low resistance liquidity, session high low, previous day high low, weekly high low, relative equal highs, those kind of things, right? Pretty simple, but just to re-clarify, if we're going to be targeting imbalances, it would need to be something like this. Big leg, sweep internal liquidity, and then inverse imbalance in this leg, 1 to 5 minute IFVG in this leg that swept this internal liquidity, and we also took out a draw somewhere here. Inversion, and then trade up into a imbalance in this leg, okay? Just to make that very clear. But the example we're going to be looking at today is low resistance liquidity. So we kind of accumulate, make a bunch of highs or lows if we're looking short, but the example I'm going to show you is a bullish example. Bang, we sweep a significant draw on liquidity, and then we get a nice inversion somewhere along here to target these highs potentially. This is low resistance liquidity, and maybe there's something super strong that sets above it as well. So that's basically the premise of the model. It'll always go in the steps of like, one, you want to define your, like, you don't want to be entering a trade and just like be like, okay, the setup's here, what can I look to target? You always want to reverse engineer it. So you always want to see, okay, I like this draw on liquidity. Now I'm going to wait to see if we get a potential setup. If you're not doing it that way, you could just go like a fixed 1-to-1, but then you're like pattern trading it, and it gets really techy if you're doing that, because when I was pattern trading the merchant model, like the old model I used to use was just like hourly gaps, intermediate highs, and then 5 minute, and then an inversion. It's like that setup can present itself, like a bullish setup might present itself in like a super bearish market, and you might just enter for like no fucking reason because you're pattern trading and you just get absolutely raped. That's why my fucking that's why my funded account is in like 1300 US drawdown. So yeah, don't pattern trade essentially. So you want to define your target, slash bias slash profile. If you don't know what profile is, it's like similar to bias. It's like accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So let's say London session accumulates. We expect New York to manipulate and distribute. Or if London manipulates and starts distribution, then we want a continuation in New York. Like, you understand? So those, and then you want to look for your reject. Is this even? Oh, fire, dude. I need to restart this again. Okay, fire. You want to look for your rejection levels. So these could be like intermediate high, intermediate low, FVGs, session high, low. It's like you just want to find good levels of rejection, right? Again, pretty standard. I assume you know all of these concepts. And third, highest time frame, IFVG on your manip leg, right? So again, pretty straightforward strategy. The most difficult thing I'd say about this strategy, especially for you, would be like using discretion and discipline because, well, I'll show you an example, right? Let's just get straight into the example. Gotcha. What are we doing, right? London session, holy chop, Asian, holy chop. We're not really clearly trading towards anything. We're kind of just like accumulating. We're just fucking accumulating. We're not doing fucking anything. However, we are inside of this gap. We did trade into this hourly imbalance on this massive dump. I don't know. I can't remember what the fuck that was for. Maybe that was news or something. But we did trade into this dump. We respected it and we started going downwards. Respected this imbalance as well. Traded downwards. So pretty much everything is telling me that bias should be bearish today, right? But what targets are like most realistic? Wholly low resistance liquidity, right? Like we've just been chopping and chopping for the last 12 hours or whatever it was. And we have a bunch of low resistance liquidity. Not only that, but this again, this is where discretion comes into play. I think we had CPI news or something. At 8:30, we made equal highs. And it's a data wick. That's like an A plus draw on liquidity. That's so strong. Coming into the market, I was like, I would like to take longs. I really like these draws on liquidity. If they remain intact, then I want to take longs up to those. And also, we're trading within this hourly imbalance. So if we take out my thought process was if we take out this intermediate low, I'm ready to go long pretty much. As long as we don't trade like into this low resistance, if we don't start taking out all these draws, because then I think, okay, well, if we take out this, we'll probably come down here and take out some of these, and I would just assume that we'd just get like a bearish day. Let's see what happened to market open. 905, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, first candle, we respect this bearish gap and we make another relative equal high. Some more low resistance liquidity. That just made me want to, like, that just confirmed that I wanted to target these, just giving more targets to myself. And what happens now? Oh, we swept this low. And did we trade into what I didn't want to see us trade into? No, we didn't take out any of these lows, and we're still inside this. Oh, you can't even see that. The screen froze. You're gonna have to forgive me. The screen freezes like pretty frequently. I don't know why my OBS is like this. But we didn't take out any of these lows, and we're still trading within this imbalance. Took out this intermediate low. That's another thing you need to focus on when you're looking for stuff like this, because this is obviously a wick that went through. It went 40 points past the intermediate low. So you're thinking, okay, where did we actually reject off of? Probably this 5-minute gap, right? And I don't want to see us start taking these. I want to find the lowest point where I would want price to go before it would make me start reconsidering where I would want to trade towards. And this was perfect. We traded into this 5-minute. We didn't take these lows. We didn't start targeting these. So for me, this is a super clean rejection. Look at the 1-minute time frame. Super clean down leg to this London low, this intermediate low. Not only that, we created, dude, where's my square? We created a 1-minute here. All right, sorry. Okay. So we have this thing, right? Like, so I would want to see some clean displacement through this and get a nice inversion, and then I would be willing to target these highs. Super, super good distribution out of that. Take our targets up to these equal highs. Alright, this is the data wick, yeah. Data wick, and it was an equal high, I think, with some Asian highs over here or something. And maybe you even leave a runner up to this, right? But this was our target, just over a 1-to-1. So if we did want to set a break even, it would be here at this internal high, swing high, and then full take profit maybe at Asian highs or something. So let's see how we perform. Bink. Wow, Drake, absolute cock. He's still, trading views good. And so we went break even. And there you go, full take profit. Data wick is already such a strong draw on liquidity, but matched with an equal high and low resistance liquidity, super clean inversion, like this couldn't be more A+. Actually, it could. If the bias was bullish, this would have been way more A+. I'll draw you a example of when we were targeting imbalances, like if we're using the Mech model. I can't really be bothered to find a setup, dude, so you're just gonna have to suck on it. But let's say London session, we do something like this. This is London session, right? New York opens, trade down here, hit a strong draw. Maybe this is previous day lows or something. Let's say it is, because that's a good draw. Oh, no. Previous day lows. Let's say we also have an SMT at this low. It's very important, by the way, that we sweep out this internal liquidity. When I say internal liquidity, I'm referring to this low. It's very important we sweep that out, because if we don't and we start getting distribution upwards, our inversion is probably going to be one of the gaps that we're meant to be targeting, right? Because if we just start going like this, then it's like we have no manipulation. Like, if you want to trade it differently, maybe you have a 5-minute here, a 5-minute here, and a 5-minute here, and then you can just have multiple take profits if you want to. But again, risk. And also on this, let's just say we were trading towards a 15-minute. Our break even again is at this internal high. Okay? Important. This is our break even. Hope you enjoyed my jump scare. Haha. Alright. See you, buddy.